AA Best Bail Bonds big game coverage live from Miami.
It is the Blitz here on 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM. He's Jason, I'm Rob, and if you're on Facebook Live, you can see him right there. He's Bill Romanowski as we're coming at you live from Radio Row, your AA Best Bail Bonds Radio Row coverage coming at you from Miami Beach. Bill, man, it's nice to catch up. You're one of the guys we see every year.
Well,
and you continue to look good. I continue to decline, man.
Well, I practice what I preach. And as you guys know, Nutrition 53 is a big part of what I do. And, we actually have a couple new products. And a couple new products that would help some guys like you.
Well, okay. When you say new products, certainly your shake. Minix drinks one of these every day of his life.
Good, and I do too. And I do too.
And,
yet I don't look like you.
Yeah, so
here's what we got to add to it. Here's what we have to add. And we actually have a buy a lean one, tub of lean one, and get a free Testo one.
Okay.
And guess what Testo does?
It
raises your natural testosterone levels.
So I don't have to mix in a sit-up?
So, no.
All right.
You're going to burn more fat. Lean one helps that anyways, but you raise your testosterone levels, you burn more fat, you have better sex, and you do better in the weight room. Not bad.
2 out of 3 ain't bad for me.
That's not bad.
I'm going near the weight room. Well, the weight room ain't a part of my routine. Although we talk about it, Rob's lost, 45 pounds in the last 6 months on a program that he's doing, and I've been telling him, mix in a shake.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
I'm
take out one meal a day.
That's essentially what I've been doing. Unfortunately, the shakes that I'm taking is offered to me through the group that I'm working with.
Oh,
but
is it? Okay.
I assume that it's very close or whatever it might be. But the reason I wanted to bring this up is obviously what you practice and preach works.
Yeah.
Dude, look at you. You're a year younger than me.
I work out every day, and I watch what I eat, and I make sure, that, to me, I mean, you own a nutrition company, you better practice what you preach. You better look good and do it well. And, and the nice thing, too, is our partnership with Smoothie King and the cleaner blending. I went through a year of reformulating Lean One to fit into their cleaner blending initiative. And I tell you what, Smoothie King is now the healthiest smoothie store in the country.
And I believe isn't Lean one of their top smoothies?
Yeah, it is. And they're a great company to work with. And nice thing about it is in the lean down section on their menu board, you can replace a meal with Lean One. And you do that with a smoothie, a 20-ounce smoothie that's under 300 calories. How many meals can you get where you get fruit and vegetable extracts, you get fiber, you get protein, 27 vitamins and minerals, and how can you get all that for under 300 calories in a meal?
You can.
You're just not going to do that.
You can. Bill Romanowski with us here on Super Bowl Radio Row. You got, I don't know how many rings, 4? Right?
I got 4 rings.
You got 4 rings.
Yes.
You know what this is like. I know you're in the Bay Area. You've been doing a lot of TV work with the Raiders. What's it like in the Bay Area right now, especially for Raider fans? Their team's moving to Vegas, and the 49ers are in the Super Bowl.
You know what? I literally went to the 2 playoff games for the 49ers, and to see how electric the fans were again. It brought me back to the old Candlestick days. And, it made me proud again, that I was a Niner, because we've been through a drought. We had a good run. We had a good run there for a little bit and, lost the Super Bowl, a few years ago.
Down in New Orleans.
Down in New Orleans. And, to see what Kyle Shanahan, John Lynch have brought there's an excitement. There is a buzz around the Bay Area and around the 49ers that's literally second to none. Jim Harbaugh, I think, did a really good job, and he turned the organization around, and then it had a little dip, and now it's back on top.
As we watch the 49ers in the Super Bowl, and the expectation is this is not going to be a short-term thing, that this is the groundwork is laid for a long-term success role. How are the 49ers going to take in lost Raider fan, or are they even going to try? Because Raider fans floating around wondering, what are we doing? Are we going to follow a team in Vegas? Are they going to be able to attract? Because I don't see how you're going to be able to do it. Would a Raider fan ever be a 49er fan?
Here's what I've heard about tickets in Vegas, that 60% of them are from out of state.
Well, we believe that the Raiders will never play another home game. Even though they got a home field in Vegas, more than half of every crowd is going to be for the other side because it's a destination.
Guys road trip to Vegas to watch a game.
I think you're going to have a lot of that. But at the end of the day, for the long haul, this puts the Raiders back in the game.
Oh, absolutely.
And this literally, I think, I'm about 99.9% sure there's no other stadiums in the league where you had to deal with the baseball stadium.
True.
And deal with the infield.
The dirt.
And now, they don't ever have to deal with that again. And how nice, because I'll tell you what, I didn't like going there when I had to play on the baseball field. And, it was the one bad thing about the Coliseum that, being the home team there, you hated when it was still the infield. It just did not belong. And now, the new stadium is going to be special, and they really need it.
Are you going to stay a part of the organization doing some broadcast work?
I got to figure that out.
It won't be bad to have, the company have to put you up in Vegas a couple of 8 times a year.
I don't think there's a problem with that.
Yeah, I don't think you'd say no, for sure. Bill Romanowski joining us here on ESPN San Antonio. And I'm not going to ask who you like in the game. That would be a ridiculous question.
You're going Kansas City,
But
right?
I want you to tell me how the 49ers win, how they stop Mahomes from a linebacker perspective.
Here is what the 49ers have to do is they have to contain Patrick Mahomes. And how do you do that? I don't know how you do that. I literally do not know how you do that. But they've got the ability with their defensive line to get to him and to force him into some bad situations. But the one thing you don't want to let him do is run the football. Because when he takes off, he makes things happen. He's the guy that is looking to make a play downfield. And so you have that. And then if you're a Kansas City fan, how do you stop this running game and make Jimmy Garoppolo beat you? That, to me, is kind of in a nutshell what both teams have to figure out what to do. And it probably will come down to, it always comes down to 5 plays anyways in a game. There's always 5 plays that determine the outcome of a game. And who's going to have a majority of those 5 plays? And whether they be turnovers, sacks, fumbles.
When you think about, do you think high scoring or low scoring?
I think it's going to be a pretty high scoring game.
All right, so in a high scoring game, I think that favors Kansas City. And if it's high scoring and late in the fourth quarter, you go with the quarterback you trust more. How much do you trust Jimmy G in a situation like that?
Jimmy G is good for one bonehead play a game. That's just reality. And so, can he in this game, the biggest game of his life, where he is the starting quarterback in the Super Bowl for the San Francisco 49ers, can he eliminate that one bonehead play a game that he literally all season seemed to have? We're going to see on Sunday is what it's going to be. And can that defense contain Mahomes? Can they potentially stop him? You know, you said that I'm rooting for the Niners.
Mm-hmm. Who you taking?
But I'm giving the Chiefs the edge.
Really?
And here's why. 53-man roster on both sides.
Mm-hmm.
I give the 49ers the better roster. 11 Chiefs on offense, 11 49ers on defense. I give the Chiefs the advantage because of Mahomes. And because of that, I think the Chiefs, I think both coaches are phenomenal. You got two of the best play callers in the league.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you could pick a better one. They're both damn good. I think they're both going to leave it out on they've exhausted every bit of film, every bit of everything, and now it's up to their players is getting their mind right. And how do you dial that? You know, how are you the psychologist going into this to where you just have every single guy right on edge to play the best game of his life?
I want to ask you, as a Super Bowl veteran, 4 times,
Yes.
been here, done that. It is now Tuesday. Where are you mentally on Tuesday in prep for the game? What are you doing today to be ready for Sunday?
Number one, the game plan's already in.
Right.
You know, you're fine-tuning.
Mm-hmm.
You're watching film. You know, I get 2-3 hours of film in on Tuesday,
Mm-hmm.
and but I'd already watched, I don't know, 20, 30 hours.
Mm-hmm.
So, and now it's just fine-tuning. It's over and over rehearsing the game and making big plays in your mind over and over again. And then tomorrow, you're going to have another Wednesday practice. You're flying around. You know, once you get done, good recovery, good nutrition, good sleep, good prep, fine-tune. Come in on Thursday's a big practice in the NFL. It's a big practice getting ready for the Super Bowl. You know, flying around, fine-tuning, get a good lift in. Friday, same thing. It's going to be a shorter day, but you're going to be fired up and just flying around. I'll give you probably one of the biggest Friday stories, you know, that stands out to me is we're getting ready to play the Green Bay Packers. With the Denver Broncos at the time. And on Friday, Bubby Brister, our backup quarterback, is tearing our defense apart in the red zone. And I look to Greg Robinson, my defensive coordinator, and I say, Greg, if Brett Favre plays as good as Bubby Brister, we're going to get killed. And that just goes to show how important it is to have an unbelievable look. Because that week, we got a better look than what we faced in the game. And that was Bubby Brister.
Bubby was
incredible.
a better Brett.
Exactly.
Who would have thought?
Better
Exactly.
Brett.
And Bubby loves it, and his mother loves it when you tell that story.
Oh, yeah.
That's what it is. 4-time Super Bowl champ Bill Romanowski with us here on ESPN San Antonio, Radio Row in Miami. When you mentioned for San Francisco, there's been such a drought. You know we're cowboy country.
Yep.
You talk about a drought.
Big time.
Coaching change that Jerry Jones finally made this year. What do you think will be different now for the Dallas Cowboys going into next season?
You know what? Everyone talks about such a talented team, but the one position, and there's going to be a lot of Cowboy fans that aren't going to like this, but the problem's the quarterback. When the quarterback is not getting it done, he shows flashes of brilliance. But if you lose, the quarterback didn't get it done. If they win, the team played great. Just comes down to that. And I just always that's what I think the recipe is they have to get Dak right. And I don't know exactly what that is. And did I talk to you guys about this statistic? There was a 10-year study done by, a prominent coach in the NFL. And this 10-year study was this. Teams that ran the ball 28 times to 35 times a game on average had an 88% chance of making it to the playoffs.
And when you think about a back like Zeke in games where he has less than 20 carries a game,
yes,
and who didn't make the playoffs this year,
exactly.
it's exactly what it boils down to.
But it takes an average of 28 a game over a season.
Have you ever been on a team that committed to the run like that?
My early teams at the 49ers, people think about Joe Montana and Jerry Rice and John Taylor and Brent Jones and throwing the football, but we were a running team.
Roger Craig taking it down.
Roger Craig, that was a big part. We had, Tom Rathman, big-time fullback, but that's what we did. And it was like throwing the football was the second option,
Mm-hmm.
but we ran the football. When I won 2 Super Bowls in Denver, we were a running football team. That was the recipe. That set up the pass.
Is a running team, there's a mentality to it, right? I mean, there's an aggressive mentality to a running team that's very different from the passing and the finesse teams.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot to the playoff mentality. Just we're going to line up our best against your best, and we're going to get 4 yards, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, and it wears you down on defense. Hey, it also wears the offense down. That they got to go through it too.
Yeah.
Hey, they're dealing with guys like me. They're dealing with big time, big, nasty defensive linemen. So it's a battle in the trenches, and but it's just an interesting statistic.
It is.
Bill Romanowski joining us here on ESPN San Antonio. The Lean One Shake. Put it up in front of the camera right there. Check it out. Get it at Smoothie King. Lots of new products to be had. How do they get a hold of the products if they're not getting it at Smoothie King?
Well, they just go to lean1.com
There you go.
or nutrition53.com, and it's a buy one, get one free. So you buy a tub of Lean One, and you're going to get a free $30 bottle of Testo One. So my guys here can raise their natural testosterone levels so they can get after
And
it.
we'll look like this guy, Bill Romanowski, right here on ESPN San Antonio. I'm going to need a Lean 2 shake, not just a Lean 1 to get all the way where I need to be. Bill, it is great to catch up with you. The Super Bowl is one of those chances we get to say howdy to a lot of good people,
Well,
and you're
thank
one of
you.
them. Thank you so much for stopping
Great
by.
to be here. Thanks,
Bill
guys.
Romanowski here on ESPN San Antonio.